Welcome to the history of cinemas in Trois Rivières, Quebec. 1896. The first movies were shown by the cinematographe Lumière at the old Le National restaurant on Notre Dame across from the post office. 1908. The Bijou Theatre opened on October 28. 1911. The Casino Theatre opened in October. 1912. The La Violette Theatre opens. The Casino Theatre closes. 1913. The Gaït Theatre opens on October 6. 1914. The La Violette Theatre closes. 1915. The Bijou Theatre closes. 1916. The Victoria Theatre opens on May 29. 1918. On May 3rd, the Victoria Theatre burns down. August 26, the old Casino Theatre reopens as the Classic. October 18, all theaters are closed due to the pandemic until December. The Classic never reopened. 1919. The Passé Temps Theatre opens on March 28 at the site of the old Classic. 1920. On October 13, the Imperial Theatre opens. 1921. The National Theatre opens on Rue Bellerive in Cap de la Madeleine. 1922. The National Theatre in Cap de la Madeleine burns down on December 22. 1928. The Capitol Theatre is opened on April 7 by famous players and the Robert family. 1929. Salle Notre Dame starts to show movies on a part-time basis. 1930. On June 14, the first French-language sound movies opens at the Imperial Theatre. 1931. The Gaiety Theatre reopened on New Year's Day as the Rialto Theatre. The Palace Theatre opened on August 31. 1932. The Old Palace Theatre reopened on July 2, 1932 as Cinéma de Paris as France Film takes it over. In the late 1930s, the Royal Theatre opens in Cap de la Madeleine. 1947. The Madeleine Theatre opens on February 15 in Cap de la Madeleine. Leo Choquette opens. The Champlain Theatre is opened on December 16 in Cap de la Madeleine. 1949. France Film had plans to open the new Cinéma de Paris to be built next to the Imperial. It never opened. 1953. November 14, a Supervision 210 screen is installed at the Madeleine Theatre in Cap de la Madeleine. 1963. The Madeleine Theatre in Cap de la Madeleine burns down on March 23. The old Rialto Theatre reopens as the L.E. Baronet Cinema on June 26. In the early 1960s, the Salle Notre Dame stops showing movies. 1966. The Robert family sells its interest to famous players. 1971. The first drive-in, the Cinepark Trois Rivières, is opened by Kinevic on June 25. On October 14, Cinemas Eunice and Famous Players opens the L.E. Rivières cinemas with 2 screens. 1972. The Fleur de Lis Cinema opens on June 1. It was owned by Société Nouvelle de Cinématographie Inc. 1975. The Midi Minuit Adult Cinema opens at 323 Forges on November 25 with the best films from Montreal. By the middle of 1975, there are 3 adult cinemas operating in the Trois Rivières area. On August 23, the Fleur de Lis Cinema is renamed Pussy Cat and starts to show English-language adult movies. It was renamed back to Fleur de Lis in November. 1976. An article in the L.E. Nouvelliste reports the cinemas in town lost $100,000 in 6 months on July 23. The Lumière Theatre opens at 323 Forges on October 25. 1978. Famous Players had plans to split up the Capitol Theatre into 2 screens, forcing the city of Trois Rivières to step in and save the theatre. It stops showing movies. The Lumière Theatre closes in April. 1979. The Lumière reopens as Midi Minuit again in August. 1980. The Champlain in Cap de la Madeleine closes in October. 1981. The Imperial closes in June. 1982. The Champlain in Cap de la Madeleine reopens in February and closed in May. 1984. The L.E. Rivières Cinemas 1 and 2 closes. On June 1, the Cinema du Centre opens at 323 de Forges. On July 2, 1984, the Cinéma de Paris reopens with 2 screens. 1985. The Cinema du Centre closes. 1989. On July 14, the Cinema Imperial opens with 3 screens at 4425 Royal by Cine Enterprise. 1990. The Cinema de Paris closes after a fire. 1991. The Fleur de Lis Cinema expands to 5 screens on November 22. 1995. The Cineclub de Forges opens at 323 de Forges, and on November 24, the Cinema Fleur de Lis expands to 9 screens. 1996. On November 15, Cine Enterprise opens the Cinemas Galeries du Cap with 7 screens. 1997. The Cinemas Imperial closes. 2001. The Fleur de Lis Cinemas is sold to Galaxy Entertainment, which becomes Cineplex Entertainment. Cine Enterprise takes over the Cinepark Trois Rivières from Lowe's Cineplex Entertainment. 2007. the Cinepark Trois Rivières closes. 2011. Cine Enterprise gains a first-run monopoly as it takes over the cinema's fleur-de-lis from Cineplex Entertainment. 2013. On May 30th, LE Cinema Tapis Rouge opens with 3 screens. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.